Hi there, my name is Jeremy Flagg, and I am the cover villain. I am also the creator of Notion for Authors, and for this video, we're going to be diving into my favorite subject, money. So one of the things that for me was a big deal was having all my finances in one spot with the rest of my author business. So that is how the accounting spreadsheet came about. And it's been tailored based off my personal accountant. So I will explain I think there's one additional category that is not in the IRS listing, but it was because my accountant specifically requested it. I don't really entirely know why. That's why I hire an accountant. Okay, once we are in this section, you're going to notice, unlike the writing projects, there really isn't a whole lot that you need to tailor. You may have a much more expansive business, even more than I could have imagined. So you might need to alter some categories. So let's walk through on how to do that. If you need, there's also videos for the writing project, how to edit the template, and how to do the series pages. A lot of this is going to become a little bit repetitive if you've watched the other videos. So if you need to, you can skip through. All right, to change the pen names out, we have this existing data, and I'm just going to keep it here for the moment, but we need to fix our names. So let's click on pen name and then click edit property. And over here, let's put in my pen name. So if you don't have a second pen name, you could simply click on it and delete it out. I do have a second pen name, so I'm going to pop that in. And again, if you want to change the colors, just click on it and you can change to whatever color you want. I think in our writing projects, we have it as green and blue. And you'll see I'm a sucker for consistency. All right, so now we have the pen names in. So let's look at what the expense categories are. Right now, this particular column is set up as a single selection column, meaning you can only pick one thing. That's how my accountant wanted it. And you can see the majority of these were pulled directly off the IRS website. I'm going to strongly suggest, I am not an accountant. I am not a financial professional. I think you should always consult your accountant and ask if these categories are valid. The other thing you can do is you can always go check the federal IRS categories or your state categories as well. But I pulled these off last year, so I think they're still good. The only thing I have changed and added is website expenses and web store. My accountant very specifically wants to monitor my income from my direct sales. So he asked me to put in web store, and website expenses are kind of associated to keeping that business together. So if you don't need these, you can just click on them and go to delete or use them. If you have other odd categories that you might need to add, you can always go in and add in more. To do that, right here, go to the right-hand side, click the little plus, and you can add in new categories. So as we have them, let's just go pick new categories. There we go. Now, you can see this is specifically for expenses. We also have the income. So let's go see what we have for options. If we click Edit Properties and go down, we have all the Amazon stores, ACX, direct sales, Ingram, Patreon, other sources. This might be where you want to add draft to digital, maybe Kobo, Google, whatever you want, you can add it right here. I strongly suggest breaking it down as granular as you personally are going to want. Will your accountant care? Probably not. But I just suggest doing it that way for the sake of how we order them in other apps. So add as many as you want. All right, so here's the description of services. I am a stickler for this. My accountant really loves the fact that I detail out every expenditure So it might just be paper for printer. And then this website might be domain hosting. Something as simple as that. It's just helpful. And the reason this becomes helpful is when we come up here to by year, by expense, and by pen name. I personally like to see how my pen names are doing against one another, both in expenses and in income. So if we click pen name, you can see it splits it out by pen name. If we do by expense, it will break it out by expense categories. Well, the reason that this comes in handy is if we have income, we can look at our income based on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca. We can look at it based on geography. And the same goes for any other place that gives you geographic data for sales. So that might be helpful if you're looking to, up your United Kingdom income. You can compare it over time, doing it this way and breaking it out by expense. Most of the time, you're probably just going to want to look at it by year. If you're like me, you just sometimes just want to add in all the stuff by year. You don't care about seeing 2022. That was a bad year. 2023 was better, but it's behind us. So I would just keep adding them in by year. And that is an option as well. Now, if we look over here, we'll see how many items that we have, what the total income is, what the total expense is, and what the difference is. So this is where I include everything from bank fees to just about anything that my accountant has told me to do. And ultimately, when we are done, we can export this entire table and give it to our accountant in some way that will make sense to them. So how do we do that? We go all the way to the top in the triple budget, in the triple dots, and we go to export, and we can export it as a PDF, HTML, or CSV. Most likely your accountant's going to want a CSV because that can be read with Excel. So that is the accounting sheet. And if you're like me, you get to your quarter payment and realize, oh, I haven't kept it up. The nice thing is this is a pretty quick way of doing it, and it just kind of keeps you on top of your financing.